Hey Hada, what's happening in Melee? Oh, to the people, no matter how small of a list that may be, it's so good to say it once again here in the year of
Yeah.
2024. We have a lot to catch up on, but first, Hada, I just want to kind of ignore Melee for a few minutes at least here. I
Mhm.
want to bring the people up to speed on how we, the individuals, are doing. So let's start with you, Hada. How's it going? How are you?
It's been a minute. It's good to be back. As you could probably see, I'm in a new place. My fiance and I moved to the western end of Denver. Upgraded my setup. We have our musical accoutrement on the wall. We have the big old bulky CRT that has the worst feedback buzz of all time, but it's a great doubles TV, so it is what it is. Like Ellen has to be in another room on the other side of the apartment because the feedback, like the hum, is so bad. But it is what it is. Like when you play Melee, you've had a wonky TV in your life, but it is what it is. The dogs are good. The cat's good.
Breakfast!
So
Oh.
shout outs to breakfast. She's asleep in the bed right now.
No worries,
But
no worries.
I'm sure she'll make an appearance at some point. Um, I was working two jobs at one point. Like I was working my at-home job, like I was when the last time we were recording. But very recently went through some budget cuts, so I did lose that position. But I am now one of the facility managers at a local Parks and Rec location, which I love a lot. Like it's definitely really good for my personality. I get to bring people together to do the things that they enjoy. So everywhere from providing event space for bar mitzvahs, weddings, receptions, um, Smash tournaments, which literally what part of my job is to run the Melee local on Thursdays, which is very cool.
Hey.
I'm one of the few TOs that actually gets paid, which is kind of funny.
Well. Oh, wait,
Um,
hold on. Wild allegations here. You're saying
yeah,
that
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
TOs
yeah.
don't get paid to do all that hard work? That's crazy.
Well, of
Either
course
that or they
not.
get paid too much. You're in the paid too much category. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
obviously, I actually make money, so that's obviously way too much. Shout
Jeez.
outs to all the TOs out there. It's a thankless job. Shout outs to everyone who does it big. Of course, nothing but love. Jokes, jokes, jokes. Colorado's great. Melee's going well. I'm really enjoying playing a lot of P plus actually.
P plus
I just
Peach, right? Or am
yeah
I
P plus.
wrong?
I'm playing Peach. Playing a little bit of Luigi, some
Oh,
Mario.
yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm working on trying to get PR'd actually. I'm pretty close, I think. I think I'll be at the bottom end if I keep going the pace I'm going. I'm gonna be competing with one of the top three doubles or P plus players here in Colorado at Bigger Mile High Club. We're gonna be teaming together. So I'll let you guys know how that's going to be on 420, so no one is gonna forget that. So that's definitely a on the nose sort of date, but that's gonna be happening. So guys, keep you posted
Or at
as.
least you'll remember the days around 420. 420 might be a little blurry. Say, didn't you also, before Genesis X, have a bigger Colorado regional?
Yes, we did. We had Altitude Sickness, which was an absolutely phenomenal event. I got to commentate with one of my favorite casters that I ever worked with. Was able to work with online previously was Zen. Zen is a commentator from Minnesota, and I got to meet a lot of the Minnesota players because one of my more static teammates here in Colorado was the main TO from Minnesota, Randy, who's a phenomenal Luigi player. He just got third at mid lane because he was in Chicago over the past weekend. So
Ooh,
uh, I think he took a set off of Skurzo and Peanut Phobia with his Luigi.
don't sleep on Colorado.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so a lot of Minnesota came out, got to see them. Me and Zen had an amazing top 16 block. That was super, super fun. Me and Kiefer beat Josh Man and his teammate in doubles, but he was teaming with actually a Colorado local who's been staying in SoCal for the last couple of years. Her name's Delaney, aka Big Truck. I think it was more of a for fun run doubles run for Josh Man. Definitely not teaming with like Spark or something. But we ended up losing to Aura and Crudo, and then we lost to one
That's
of our
a,
higher level
that's tough
local
draw.
teams.
Jeez.
Yeah, Aura Crudo, and then it was a Sheik Peach mirror match, and we game one
Ooh.
was not close. We got absolutely slapped around. I would like to say we did some great adjustments, but I'm not gonna lie, I got better player by both ends. Like if I was fighting Aura, I was just getting walled, I was getting outspaced, and the few openings I got, I did make count, which was great. And then it's like if I'm gonna fight Kyle, I'm like, dude, like,
Yeah.
this guy eats peach alive. Like, what am I supposed to do against this?
And
And
they
then
can win doubles events. They can win doubles events. That's a tough
oh,
matchup.
absolutely, they were the 1 seed for the tournament.
Yeah.
So they ended up who ended up? No, it was Preeminent and Slow King that ended up winning doubles, which was very, very cool. They're an
Interesting.
absolutely insane doubles team, very slept on. Preeminent's very, very good, and so is Slow King. And they're ecstatic, so they team a lot. Like they go to every Midwest regional together. And if Preeminent's not team with Slow King, usually team with Essie actually. So they're that kind of trifecta is just very, very solid at teams. Crudo ended up winning the event, and as the last little treat of altitude sickness, I was one of the because I'm a yes man because I like helping out. I was helping transport a lot of the players to like their points of housing or like whoever they were staying or to where the airport and stuff like that. And for the last little trip I had to drive, I had Crudo, Bark, and Ben in my car. And so just all the high level sheiks they all got like top four, and the whole time they were just complaining about like, oh, Puff's lame. All these Marth players are free. This Fox player is boosted, and they're just like railing into other top players. I'm like, is this what it's like to just like be a fly on the wall listening to top players complain? Like this is crazy. But it was honestly like all jokes aside, it was so cool getting to know Zayd and Kyle and Ben a little bit better. Those guys are all awesome. And yeah, Altitude Sickness was great, guys. Come to some Colorado events. Colorado's really dope. So that's my last little shill for Colorado. Jesse, how you been? What's going on with you?
You are now talking to the Spooky Nook Winter 2023 through 2024 Rec League Frisbee champion. So we won our league.
There you go.
The finals was pretty close most of the way through, and then we pulled away in the last 8 minutes. We finally went up by more than 2 scores. So it was nice to have because we have a lot of subs, and it's a rec league, so some of the teams weren't super serious. It was actually us and the other team in finals. We were the 2 undefeated teams. It was kind of just like some of those old New York type tournaments where Armada would randomly be there in advance of a big major the following weekend, and then maybe Mewtwo King might show up, but it's basically going to be them for the finals is kind of the feel. So now the Frisbee team that I'm on, we are entering the competitive league at Spooky Nook. So looking forward to hopefully we should take some lumps. We all got really big heads right now. That's what happens when you go undefeated, I guess. I can't believe it. This is my life. So I play Frisbee once a week on the Frisbee team in a league. And then I also play pickup basketball once a week. And I really, really like doing that. It means, though, that I'm not willing to take another evening out of the week away from my family to do Melee stuff, but 717 Melee is still going on strong. We have weeklies and bi-weeklies pretty regularly. The university that's local here, Millersville University, obviously takes breaks from running the weeklies because of the school season. There's breaks, so then they take breaks as well. And I think most of the TOs even went out to Genesis back in February, so then there'd be reasons why there wouldn't be an event on certain weeks. But the bi-weekly that we have, Rapture, still going on strong. Now I am missing our garage events, but the TO for that is very, very busy right now, so I can't be too upset or mad about that. And I got to do literally, I wanted to do more, but between my kids being sick and then other stuff on my Frisbee break, I wanted to go to more Melee stuff. I only ended up getting to go to one, but almost everybody was there. It was really cool to say hi, get just absolutely smacked around. Shout outs to Lauren for completely smacking it around with her Zelda, and that's how I went 0-2. But I need to get better at the Melee, but I haven't been playing a lot of the Melee, I'll be honest, and following along with the scene from Twitter X is a little bit toxic, but when you tune in for Top 8 of Full Bloom or Genesis, and this is what I want to talk to you about, because Hada, you would this is so in your wheelhouse. We were just talking about doubles a little bit there.
Mhm.
I4 and Fek, the French sisters, coming on
Yeah.
hot to the scene. And then, of course, in typical Melee fashion, it being taken away from us because of the Rona. But
Yeah.
we were about to see not one, but two events that they were going to be going to. Did well at Genesis X for their first time in the United States playing doubles, finishing ninth is incredible for what will probably be a top three double stacked event for the whole year of 2024. We
Oh,
were going to see
absolutely.
that for Full Bloom, was taken away from us, but how cool is that? So when I hear stuff like that, I go, we are so big. And then Jmook just absolutely slapping around the West Coast. And they should be saying please and thank you for more smacking around. So seeing Jmook on his Cali, I mean, full on Cali. Oh, this is great, great vibes. Why is my bank account empty? And Brandon being like, yeah, that's how it is. So that's kind of what all is bouncing around in my mind. But please, did you hear the rumblings of the French sisters before
Yeah.
everyone saw them at Genesis?
Oh yeah. The doubles crew, the doubles people knew. The doubles people knew about the French sisters because if you kind of had to like be on like doubles Twitter per se, is they
What about
just
double
post.
Discord servers? There's Discord servers
There's
for doubles.
Yeah, and there's Discord servers, but like they post the most absurd clips on Twitter, and it was just like wow, it's just like they would post some nice like quote unquote UGS combos, and then they would kind of get custom, and I'm like ooh okay, and then they're
Some
like
new age
wait.
stuff.
And then it's like, okay, I4 Effect, these guys are pretty good. And then it's like, oh, they're women. Oh, they're sisters. Oh, they're two other siblings, and their mom and dad also play Melee. And it's like, okay, this is really, really cool. Oh, they're French. Okay, that's really cool. And so, kind of being on the European island, they kind of just get to do their own thing. And seeing how well they performed at Air and at Fit by the Sea, they had like these very solid performances where they're really going head to head with the best European teams, but when it really came down to it, like you would send a top 15, top 20 team from the States, and they'd go to a European tournament, and then they kind of win. And sometimes they weren't even just a static team. Like it could have been like a Spark Polish, and they've never teamed before. It could have been like a oh my god, who was it? It was like Envy in Polish, like Envy from the yard, like Nick from the yard in
Right, right.
Polish went really well, did really well at one tournament.
You mean Falco?
Yeah, Envy Falco. Um, and it was just like there's a situation where it's like, okay, there's this disconnect that when it's not Leffen and Ice, when it's not Armada and Android, that the teams kind of just fell off a little bit when it came to doubles in Europe. But it's like, okay, these girls are good. But it's like, how do we need that litmus test? We need to see how they perform when it comes to facing off against the better teams. And the fact that they beat Gatsu and Wizrope, who have teamed many, many times before, who are both really insane, that's a testament for how good they are. And it's like, okay, they're really, really good doubles players. But then Fek beats Nick M. Whittier in singles, in pools.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone myself who has played Nick hundreds of times because he's a really good friend of mine, it is really hard to beat Nick M. Whittier with Peach. Like, it is difficult. So I'm just sitting over here and I'm like, man, this chick is just so much better than me in every aspect of Melee. Like it's not close. I made some joke because like me and Fizzwiggle hit some crazy combo against DSJ and Junior in grand finals of a weekly, and I posted a clip, but we were trying to get them to come out to Altitude Sickness, try to get them out a week early to come out to Altitude because we had a bunch of really good teams coming. Um, and it turns out it wasn't feasible. We couldn't get them out. But I posted the clip and I said, "Hey, money match, like money match, mirror match at Altitude Sickness," and then they said they couldn't come, so I took it down. But I wanted to fight them so bad. I still want to play against the sisters really bad, like either with like Fizzwiggle or Randy or something, like one of my really good teammates. They are the truth. They are very very good. So I'm very interested to see at how much they can push forward and keep growing and keep improving because I think that kind of similar to how we had the summit style, like the summit buff, when like a player like, for example, a player like Blade Jello, for example, like who was very very good, very solid, but then went to summit and then got better results and then would improve their top 100 ranking that next year, like beyond just having access to top level talent and being able to practice for a little while, you also get that added bit of perspective. You get some feedback, and then you also get a huge buff in motivation. Like it's that reassurance that okay, this game that I really like that I'm pretty good at. Okay, I'm better than I think I am. So let's actually put some real effort into this because like maybe you play 1 or 2 hours a day. Now you're playing 1 to 2 hours a day and also doing VOD review, or maybe you're doing 1 to 2 hours a day and then you get coaching from Lot or something like if you're Feck or coaching from JMOOC if you're I4. And you just get that little bit of added effort that pushes you over that hump to really put your stamp down in the Melee atmosphere, on the Melee landscape. And I think that is a very potential opportunity for the French sisters to really make a mark here in Melee.
I really hope that we get to see at least one more trip out to the United States this year, and then hopefully there'll be some version of a doubles team from the US going out to a European event. I know JMUC's going to, I don't want to call it a castle tournament, but I remember seeing that it was in a castle, and I thought that looks like a lot of fun. And JMUC did the thing that I wish I could do, which is just, sign up and do it. But getting over to Europe, as we all know, not necessarily an easy thing to do, and vice versa. It's tough all around. We're in the stage of Melee where you're not seeing a lot of bougie sponsor money helping people travel around. And for better or worse, we're hoping for, I don't want to say things in general to turn around, but the best way to say it is that the days even of 2022 where you had two world tours or like circuits, and you're trying to compete for prize pools that are pushing more than 10,000, more than 20,000 for like the big Panda Cup finals or the Smash World Tour finals, and that all gets taken away as per usual. Melee has that kind of thing happen all the time. Hey, what happens when all the top 100 players disappear? You had a moment there where you had a car ride and could have had something really dark and dangerous happen, and all the sheiks are gone from the Midwest. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I really want to say this shouldn't be that hard. Let's get them over for at least 2 times, but one more time is probably the most realistic expectation. Big house in October. Oh, that'd be so cool. There's probably an event close-ish that they can go to either before or after. So hopefully something like that. But as for the singles arc, Cody, best player in the world. We also got to see a really good Zane versus JMOOC Grand Finals from Full Bloom. And AMSA still relevant despite being back in Japan, coming out for Genesis and showing, yeah, I can finish at second place, no big deal. I don't want to accuse AMSA of regressing or anything, especially with moving back to Japan, but you don't know what to expect because the events that AMSA won, in fairness, were mostly behind being in Vancouver, being in Canada, at least in the same continent as all the tournaments that he's attending. So I think in terms of where the top level singles competition is, it feels really great. We have not been able to get, I feel like, a consistent, well, and this is mainly to do with Plup, but no Hungrybox Plup kind of challenging JMOOC, Cody, or Azel Rocky, Azel, however we pronounce the tag. But that's such a cool thing. Azel Rocky winning doubles at Genesis X. And, it's just such a shame that it had to be Zamu and Hungrybox beating the French sisters because they ended up finishing second. They made it all the way back to grand finals. What a big, chunky losers run that was. But and all these game 5s, that's crazy. How'd they do that? Well, Hungrybox is the king of game 5s. I guess we could just chalk it up to that. Is a tremendous doubles player, even though I always want to accuse him of not being an amazing doubles player. If you pair him with a good Fox,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard not to see them finishing, like either top 1 or top 4.
Yeah, it's definitely like you've seen Hungrybox and Plup, and I guess the idea behind kind of a doubles power ranking per se is I think Plup by far and away might just be fundamentally the best doubles player. Plup is absolutely outrageous. He's so smart with his spacing, his defensive game. It's really hard to break him down and start team combos against him. And then you have the surefire kill factor that Hungry Box will hit the edge guards. Hungry Box will hit a rest or two. And when it comes to Jigglypuff and teams, if you're hitting a rest or two, you're usually winning the game if it's a head-to-head match. Jigglypuff just has that factor where, especially if your teammate's close, you can just get knocked out of the rest lag after the fact. So when you're sleeping, that character is very, very strong. Um, the sisters, oh my god, I wanted them to win that set so bad. But Zamu is also an amazing doubles player in their own right. So big shout outs to Zamu. But Azel and plus NorCal player or Azel plus Fox is just it is a recipe for success. Azel and Rocky were a static team for a very very long time. Rocky is very potentially the best doubles Falco on the planet, and I would say so personally. Um, I think Slow King's up there. Hidden Boss doubles Falco, the Asian one from Tri-State, is very very good at doubles Falco, and that character is potentially the best doubles character, but also just toes that line of just being completely useless. Just a very, very difficult character to operate in teams, and so the people that do it well, like, will solo carry games. Ginger's also very solid at doubles Falcos. Also, shout outs to Ginger. We'll get into the Ginger stuff in a minute. I do want to give all the love to Azel and Rocky because they they deserved it absolutely. Azel and Zuppy absolutely deserved their big house win. So with Azel being on two separate teams, winning the last two biggest tournaments of the year, Azel is just cementing themselves as one of the modern doubles goats right now. Like just super solid, finding the kill options, and is just so like I think the biggest thing that separates Azel from a lot of other players is their ability to break up tense pressure situations, either in the corner at a corner pressure or the other team sandwiching his teammate. Azel is just there to make the macro game and the team fluidity of movement around the stage just that much more easy. So really want to give a lot of credit out to Azel, and just gonna hop in, I guess, segue into another Falco player, Ginger, actually going to be announcing their retirement after about literally 20 years of gameplay um, devoted into Super Smash Brothers Melee. Um, and it's kind of just boils down to competing in Melee is time consuming, it's exhausting, it wears on your bones, it wears on your bank account, and it's just one of those things where you can't do it forever because I think he said it best in his video. It's when you legitimately are competing to be the best player in the world, every single time you lose a tournament, no matter how many people enter, you could have 3,000 people enter a tournament and or three people enter a tournament, only one person gets to win. And if you are legitimately entering a tournament every single mind with the intention to win, and then you can't win, it's just hard and it breaks you down. And Avery has won hundreds, if not thousands, of tournaments in his career. But when you're going for the big one, like yes, you can win a regional. Yes, you can win a small major. Yes, you can, get PR1 in your state over and over and over again. You can get top 20, top 15, top 10 ranked in the world. But if you're not one, if you're not the guy, that can wear on you after a while.
I'd say for someone like Ginger as well, it is that the desire to be either consistently pushing to win majors or consistently pushing for number one. There's no, how do I phrase this? This is not like football or basketball in terms of professional football, professional basketball, where if you get to the age 30 mark, you instantly just start crashing in terms of your ability to play the game in Melee. In Mango has shown you can play into your 30s and be just fine. And there's other players that are getting to the age 30 mark and are playing better Melee than ever. So it's not necessarily about like your ability to play, it's the mental. And I think Mango's probably, again, not to bring up the same old guy in the room, but this is someone who's been pushing for number one or pushing to win majors for about as long as anybody. And that is probably the thing that wears through faster than anything else. You can you can be just fine with the hands and your posture and everything else physically, and reaction time. I know that's a big thing to certain people, but Mango's doing just fine. It's the mental stuff. And then what are your other goals? That was something that I appreciated that I heard Ginger talking about in his video. Like what are my other goals here? And do those match up with playing Melee competitively? And after taking time to think about it, no, they don't. And I want to prioritize those other things now. I think that's great. You don't if you're really good at a game, you don't have to keep playing just because you're really good at the game. You can walk away. It takes a lot to do that. And I don't think anybody, and Ginger acknowledging this, walking away completely, just never ever touching a controller again, that's not going to happen. But in terms of being comfortable with saying, I'm not going to keep pushing and grinding and trying to bankrupt myself for the possibility of leveling up in terms of the rankings and how likely I am to win a tournament. Well, my phone's ringing, but it's also not turning off my camera, so I'll just try to ignore that. Basically, for Ginger, I really appreciated the thoughtfulness of the time that he seemingly took to announce this, even saying, look, I can't promise that I won't be at another tournament. Consider somebody else who retired in our time away, somebody like JFlex, who's been playing for a really, really long time, is basically saying, I'm done playing Melee at, like, you know, ad nauseum or at large at a macro level. But yet, when you look at Collision, Melee singles, JFlex is there. That doesn't mean you don't walk away from the game completely. It just means you're not going to be showing up at 10 tournaments and traveling cross country and even one or two events outside of the US to try to level up and try to push for that number one spot.
And it's what is it? The longer the retirement post, the shorter the retirement. So we again, other players who have done this in the last year. We have had Two Saint who went on a retirement. We had Fat Goku, and Fat Goku's now back but playing Falco. Two Saint has been entering some nightclubs. You know, I think that this game is just it's everything to a lot of people, and it's exhausting, it is exhilarating, it is traumatizing, it is what we love, it's the friends we've made along the way, it's the One Piece, I don't know. But it's but when it all boils down to it, this game is fun, man. This game is so fun. Um I've never played a game with more skill expression, with more personality, with more just depth of flavor, basically, and it's just a good way to spend your time. Like if you have an hour to kill, why not just go play some Slippy? If you have a weekend open and there's a cool tournament in your region, why not go play at a tournament and see your friends and enter doubles and try to get some dubs and high five your friends when they get a cool win and awkwardly walk away when they drop a set to someone they shouldn't. And it is a huge personality trait for a lot of people, and it is the community that a lot of people have built. And I think the biggest factor of people coming out of retirement so frequently in Melee is I think a lot of heavy competitors, like people who are pushing to that highest level, like JFlex, like Two Saint, like Fat Goku, and Ginger, I think a lot of them quit quote unquote Melee because of the stress and because of the anxiety and because of the expectation to succeed. But I think during those moments of weakness and during those moments of reflection, they're only focusing on the aspect of competition, but they're not truly grasping the full length of what Melee means to a lot of people. And that is community, that is friendships, that is going to Denny's after at 1 a.m. after a tournament and eating 14 pancakes. Um, so I think a lot of players, when they quote unquote come out of retirement, they realize all of my friends are already going to be at this tournament. All of my friends are going to be going to this cool city. Why wouldn't I just go? Why wouldn't I go make those memories?
And so I don't know how to perfectly get us onto the next topic, but I think for not for every player. There's another one who rises, but I don't want to have anyone come away from this thinking that Midwest got weaker because Midwest is only getting stronger. Then that's because I'm pretty sure Ossify's Midwest. Isn't
Yep.
Ossify Michigan?
Yep. He's
So
the first person to
I
be
have
ranked one in
fully
Michigan
gone
other than
through the
Ginger for a while.
ossification process. I'm bossified up. Seeing ossify reverse 3-0 mango, no matter what version of mango that may be, is still an accomplishment. And the ossify versus Zane, I mean, it wasn't as cool as the game 5 that was off stream at Genesis, maybe, or wherever it was. I think it was Genesis. I remember hearing about that one, but getting to see it on stream and then just opening up with Nair, sweet spot tipper, and then, you know, the reverse flick. I keep wanting to say, yeah, shield breaker to secure the edge guard. Like, I'll remember that for a while because Vayne opened up another game in that set with the exact same thing. I love that so much. I posted onto Twitter. I did not at Ossify, but I said, Ossify, please never stop edge guarding the way that you do, because I think, just based off of what I've seen so far, what little I've seen, Hada, because I don't pay attention to the deep things of what these up and coming players will do, but based on how Ossify has played other top players, seems like Ossify is on a pretty good path right now. I don't know if winning a major anytime soon is in the cards, but if Ottawa keeps competing, seems like that will eventually come to pass. We'll see how the next phase comes along. The now you're here, quote unquote, you finish top 4 at a big event. Can you keep doing that kind of thing? Is probably the next question, because Jmook finishing top 2 at Genesis 8 was amazing. I think most of us were not necessarily shocked by that, but most of us would have said, it might be a little while until that kind of thing happens again. Only Jmook proved no one finishes top 2 better than Jmook in 2022.
Jmook was Mr. Top 8 during that year, so Jmook did not miss the top 8 that entire year.
Got a lot of second places too. That's what I'm saying. So I'm hoping for some staying power. I'm hoping that Ossify is very young on the mental side of all this with competing, but I know Ossify's been playing at minimum 7 years. It has to be like when you're finishing that well in an event, it's not because you started last week. Let's just put it that way.
Ossify is kind of following the train of, honestly, Jmook, like we were saying. It's everyone thinks, oh, it's this new kid on the block, but then you kind of do some digging, you're like, wait, this guy's been playing like 5-10 years. This guy's been around the block already, but we just didn't know about him. Ossify has been the first player in a very, very long time to be ranked 1 in Michigan who is not named Ginger. So that's something to keep in mind. So there was the Duck, Kalindi, Ginger / Prince Abu era. That was, the Michigan top 4. And then right after that was Russell. So shout outs to Russell, who's now a Colorado player. And Ossify is the first player to be like to take a debut seat on the top 1 in Michigan, on the best player in Michigan. So I do want to give a lot of credit over to Ossify for making a mark, not just in his local scene, but also making marks on the big stage. So the reverse 3-0 on Mango, the performances at Big House, the performances at Genesis.
Oh, Big House. I think it was Big House, not
It
Genesis.
was Big House. Yeah, it was Big House that he was playing like those off-stream sets. And he was just going crazy. Someone else that I heard about recently is Alex, who was a Puff player. I saw some Twitter goings on. I need to actually find this tweet. I think it was Justin Darkgenix who was talking about him. But
no one backs up floaties better, or up and coming floaties better than Darkgenix, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. It's some Puff player. Let me find it. Oh my God. Apparently, like, just getting a lot of credit. Moki tweeted. Okay. From Moist Moki Doki on Twitter. Just ran into a Puff player named Alex on Unranked, and he is really fucking good. Calling it that this dude is going to be the next to have a Jmook at Genesis 8 kind of run out of nowhere. He needs to go to events. Actually just shocked at the games I played. And Dark Genix replied, he was unseated at Double Down and got 17th, beating Casper, NMW, Chango, Peanut Phobia, and Super Quack twice. Has wins on Zamu, Slowking, and more Midwest regionals if he travels easily top 100. And so I think, yeah, it's and everyone's kind of just like looking for this guy. And what we're thinking is it's Alex's Puff stuff. I think 'cause I think he's a streamer. No, it's a different guy. Like people just
Another
are like,
Alex that plays ball.
yeah, like there's just he just apparently he just graduated high school, super young kid,
Hmm.
but
This is the kind
there's
of
just
person that OG Kid wants to be. That's a real shame. We're talking about an up and coming Puff player, and it's not OG Kid. Oof. Ah.
yeah. And so we're just trying to find out more about this kid because apparently he's just the sauce, and I would love to see more about this Alex kid. So maybe that's going to be the next player to look out for as the year goes on.
So the last big topic that we have is looking ahead to Collision 2024, which is not this weekend, but the following weekend. So no bracket, but we got some big hitters in here. Obviously, J-Mook, Spark, Hungrybox, Axe, Triff. But we also have some players, we were talking about J-Flex earlier. Not sure what to expect out of J-Flex or out of Swedish Delight, but when you see that Swedish is going to be at a tournament, you just go, let's get a top 16 run in. Come on, because Swedish has got that in him still. So, but of course, Aklo and Laud is going to be going to this event. So I hope Laud's been able to do unranked recently. That'd be super cool. And of course, the favorite to win the event, Cody. Also a little bit of Magi, some Crudo, some Moki. This is a really good event, and it has yet to be announced officially. But at the time of this recording being put out, you'll have already seen on X Twitter, Mango is going to be going to this event. Now, will Mango miss the flight? Maybe. Will Mango not show up on bracket in time? Maybe. But is Mango having more fun than ever playing Melee or something? I think I saw that on the YouTube thumbnail title recently. Sure, why not? Oh, and Skurzo and Salt. How could I forget to show love to... Oh, speaking of another player who is supposedly retired, Wally's registered for Melee singles. Oh, let's go. Let's go. And of course, okay, so let me just back up a second. I was talking about all these great players like SDJ and Chem and Crike, we and Panda and Vu and KGH. We have this amazing opportunity when you consider East Coast, and I mean this in the nicest possible way to the Midwest and the West Coast, is that East Coast still largely has a fairly big part to do with the top level talent of Melee in the United States, the biggest grinders as well. Collision is in a very, very ideal central location in New Jersey. You get a lot of players from New England, obviously from New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, but also NDVA shows up. And then, of course, you're getting all these out of region players from the Midwest and the West Coast showing up for this event. This is going to be an amazing tournament. I'm really appreciative of how Collision, because at first was mostly just an ultimate focused event. I think last year in 2023 was the first year, or maybe the second year that they did Melee, but that's when it popped off because we got the amazing J-Mook Zane Grand Finals where it was 2 sets and J-Mook won. So that might be why I think it's amazing and go, oh, Zane won the double set Grand Finals in full bloom. Of course, Zane was supposed to win that yawn next. No, it's so cool. This is so cool that you got another potential tournament event like that. And one of my favorite things, and shout outs to people like Dark Genix who had to have been responsible for making this happen, giant Melee bracket. But then you also have a doubles bracket. Now we don't have, I don't know who Hungrybox is teaming with, but he's registered for doubles. I don't know who he's teaming with, but he's, actually Hungrybox is competing in the giant Melee bracket as well. So we could talk about who's the favorite to win giant Melee. Puff can't possibly be better than Peach and Marth for giant Melee.
Ridiculous in giant Melee.
That double smash go boom, and then Marth's sword gets even more ridiculously big. So that's why I feel like those are the 2 best characters for giant Melee. I'll let you chime in here.
I actually I played about 2 hours of giant Melee with Justin at Big House this past year. It was Saturday night, and I was like, Justin, you want to play some teams? You want to play some money matches? And he goes, no. Do you want to play some giant Melee? And I'm like, Oh yeah, you're the giant melee guy, and so I was just rotating characters around. He was showing me how broken Peach was, and it was a good time. Like it was just fun for the whole family. Um, I think it's whoever can pilot Peach the best. I think Justin is insane at giant melee, so I could definitely see him pushing deep into the bracket. But if we see like a Wally or we see like a Tri-State Peach go really hard, I wouldn't be shocked. Um, I'm hoping Giant Melee gets some screen time as well because that mode is silly. Um, Thinking about like the climate going into Collision is also very exciting. Was watching Mango stream the other night, and he's been grinding with Crudo, like cross map net, like cross country net play. But he's like, dude, Crudo's, and also to give a little bit more glazing to Crudo, I think it was Jmook and Zane were playing on stream or something, and they're like, someone asked in chats like, "Who do you think is going to be the next person to be the next best player in the world?" And they're like, "We think it's probably going to be Crudo. Crudo is the next player who has not been rank one, who has not been like an elite player, who could make that breakthrough into the next echelon of melee." And they're saying it's Kyle, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, yeah, he's insane. Like he's cracked. He's absolutely nuts.
All about
But
that
then you
melee,
have
singles and
yeah.
doubles. We love to see it.
We love the doubles love. He does love doubles. But it's like and then you're seeing especially like the top player like vacuums and the top player brain trusts where Mango's grinding with Crudo, Jmook's grinding with Ossify, and like there are these players where there's always a player that's so good that you can warm up for another player. So Ossify is now Zane practice. Crudo is Jmook practice. You have Magi can get you warmed up for Mango. You have all these foxes that can, Zamu or Zuppy or Zealot or name another Z fox that can get you warmed up for Cody. So I think that the climate of Melee, because it is so top heavy and, it's I say this all the time at the locals, win or lose, I'm like, damn, this game's hard. Like this game is so hard.
Yes, it is.
Everyone's getting so good. Um, it is just a good time to be a Melee player. It's a good time to be a Melee fan because it's just so outrageously high level right now. And it's really is, I wouldn't say a toss up per se. I think there is a degree of separation when it comes to top five, top six players, um, and then falling off to like the top 15 and then another gap after that. But still, like it is so cool to see how much this game is evolving and how much the meta is being pushed. And I think after the results of Genesis and after the results of Full Bloom Altitude Sickness, we're kind of getting a little taste test for how this year is going to go. Um, future best player in the world, Crudo winning Altitude Sickness. You have Cody winning Genesis, and then you have Zane winning Collision. And being able to end the last year with that first to 10 and it going back and forth, Zane getting a 4 stock in there, like these sets, these games are so outrageously competitive. And I think Cody said it best. He's like, I think Elephant asked him if like, were you shook when you got 4 stocked? He's like, do you know how many friendlies that I have played with Zane in this past year? Like we have played hundreds, if not thousands of hours together. We have both 4 stocked each other over and over and over again. Like I know that it is very possible I 4 stock him the next game, but it's just you just got to stay locked in because it is so hard. If you have one moment of hesitation, it's over. Um, and that is just it's so exciting. It's almost like these melee players are in these F1 cars and they're going 500 miles an hour straight into a brick wall, and if they don't break at the right moment, it all just goes to shit. And I'm just excited to see what happens at Collision. There's a lot of good doubles teams coming out, Preeminent and Essie coming out as well. Arton and the Asian one, I think one of the best hidden boss doubles teams on the East Coast, Zuppy and Mop Money. That's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, that's a good team.
The Swooper and Two Saint. Okay, that'll be funny.
That'll be amazing. I hope it reaches certain levels of degeneracy where we see Two Saint charging in and Swooper just holding the ledge.
We got Crudo Panda, Rishi, and Laud. Crudo Panda are ridiculous.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
supposed to be teaming. They were actually supposed to be teaming at altitude, but Panda couldn't make it out, so they teamed with
Oh my gosh. No,
Aura.
they've teamed before. That's the team I'm
They've
used to
teamed a
seeing.
ton.
Yeah.
They're very, very good. I'm trying to click through the rest of these doubles teams because
I
it's
have
actually it's not organized
No,
by
it's
like.
not, but I have to like if I can't tell if both Cody and Jmook are in Melee dubs, but if that's true, then you have to assume. Oh no, Jmook's not registered for Melee doubles. Never mind.
That is
Forget it.
so sad. Why? It's like they went on record. They're like, we want to be the best doubles team, and
And
then
yet,
they showed some good stuff. They won some tournaments. They were making some moves, and then all of a sudden, I'm just like,
where's
bro,
Plup?
like,
I really feel like Plup has a lot to do with this. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And look, we forgot to say this. Shout outs to PewFat. I mean, PewPewU, even now in this timeline, takes competing in dubs not super seriously enough to be a normal competitor, but just when they were playing against the French sisters on SFAT stream after Genesis, like PewPew's like saying to SFAT, I woke up and I was eating different food because that's my competitive food or something. I love Kevin so much. Okay, I want to also just give like a bold prediction here. I I think that of all these players who would be top player to win the giant melee bracket, I'm actually gonna pick Aklo because I have to assume that Dark Genix has convinced him to play giant melee more than one or two times in all this. There's only one player who's registered to only compete in giant melee. You know, that's obviously Justin, but I'm hoping that Aklo makes a big run in giant melee. And then as for singles, just because we will not be recording until, well, I don't know when we'll record next. We'll talk about that after we're done wrapping up Collision. I'll put Laud as making a deep run. That's, I don't want to say an easy prediction because Laud could just be out of practice enough and get better played by the grinders, the people who are playing tournaments on a regular basis. And then I'll say Moki for a surprise top two finish, but I still pick Cody to win the event. So I'm hoping that Laud gets like a fifth place, Smokey gets like a second place. Why didn't Mango like beat Hungrybox in that top eight qualifier match? That was it right there. But when Mango
he
said
just kept
afterwards,
F smashing the shield, man. I was like, dude, stop F smashing the puff. One, why are you playing Falco? Well, the Falco was doing well at
the
first,
first game, the
but
first game.
I'm just like, bro, why? Just play Fox. Just play Fox. Like,
So
oh my
anyway,
God.
that's neither here nor there. But I'm hoping that Hungrybox misses top eight. I'm actively rooting against that now. I was only like slightly rooting for it these past couple of years, but now I've decided that 2024 is the year that, especially if I end up at Big House like I'm hoping to at this point, I'll be really cheering for missing out on top eight because we're circling the drain on that. I'm so excited for when that eventually happens. I'm not ready to say that Mango's never winning another major. I'm not ready to say that yet. I'm just kind of pressing F to doubt currently, but I know better than to say he never will. But that's just kind of where I am with melee meta stuff. Who do you like to win the event or go far in the bracket, Hada?
I'm I'm just such a clip fiend. I love a good melee clip. And this I saw a ridiculous like zero to death Jmook onto Ossify on Sheik Marathon FD, and I was just like, this guy might be the best player in the world. I don't know. Like it was like he gets a grab, re-grab, soft hit up air, double jump read up air. Um no, it was like soft up air, double jump fast fall fair, like a weak one, and then he fell and got the latest needle out to snipe him off stage, and then fast fall runs off and fairs him again. I'm just like, bro, like that was crazy. So I mean, I'm a Jmook fanboy. I just think his Sheik is absolutely ridiculous. I love
It's the
Krudo.
truth. It's the truth.
Yeah. I think Cody's, but I honestly think Cody's just the hotness right now. I think my pick for a surprise run in top eight I think Polish could probably make a top 8, maybe a top 5. Also, Swift is coming out. I could see Dan Swift making top 16, top 12, maybe even ninth or top 8. I think Swift is ridiculous. Lots of good peaches as well. We have Polish, we have Laud, B-Bats, Wally. Peach Crew could go hard this not this weekend, but this upcoming weekend. And Swedish is really good too. I think Swedish. I don't know how in practice or how
Top
informed
16.
Swedish is.
Top 16. Come
That'd
on.
be sick. Hey, the last time Swedish came out for a tri-state event, he won doubles with Polish. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Actually,
Swedish still got it.
Triff, did we mention Triff for
Oh, Triff is there.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Triff.
here's an interesting question. Will there be more peaches in top 16 or more sheiks in top 16? Because I feel like the answer most likely is peach, because I expect Laud to at least get top 16. And I wouldn't be surprised if B-Bats or Wally got there to represent New Jersey. And then Triff,
Polish.
Oh, and
Triff,
Polish. Right.
Yeah.
But you got Spark, you got J-Mook, you got Swedish, you got Crudo, right? And then there's another Sheik here somewhere down the line that I could probably find. J-Flex. Yeah, possibly. Top 16, again, like it all kind of depends on how bracket shakes out. But we got some good Peach Sheik representation for Collision, so that's really cool. Not a ton of Falcons, but, let's go Salt. Let's go Salt. I would love to see. I mean, Salt is someone who we were really hoping, or rooting for, certainly to take the next step up, because of that whole, it's just really, really fast, really good, really solid, understands the game kind of thing, is a true gamer, just shows up when the moment gets hot, like heats up too. Love to see that. But yeah, not a ton of spacey representation. That should be pretty interesting for, I mean, obviously Cody, who we both expect to win the tournament, but it's not like an absurd amount of foxes beyond Aklo, Cody, and Moki. I'm not trying to take away credit from players like Panda, or I think, isn't Vu a fox player too? Or
Vu's a Falco.
Okay, so never mind that. Sorry about that. Oh, but you know what?
Panda,
Skurzo.
Kem. I think Kem's ridiculous. Kem is one of my favorite players.
Skurzo making a push, that'd be cool, because Skurzo's taking it at least seriously enough to only register for Melee singles as of now, so.
I'm pretty sure Skurzo's moving to Japan, like very soon.
Whoa.
So, yes, I believe Skurzo's moving to Japan.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we'll be competing with the likes of Inogen, with Amsa, and all those players out there.
Hopefully Shinsuke, but
Shinsuke.
not super consistent as far as I know for attending Japanese events.
Yeah. I can guarantee one thing.
Okay.
The highest placing, drumroll, Pichu will be Codeman. That is my goat. He is so good, but his character is so bad. But I love that guy's Pichu. That guy's ridiculous.
As an Iron Man person yourself, Hada, you know how much of a struggle Pichu can be, but that Nair go brrr.
That Nair is good. It's a good Nair. I think the Downer is pretty. There's some other good moves, but that Nair go kind of hard. But all jokes aside, this is a ridiculously stacked event. Like, you have, like, even the first page going all the way out, and like the lowest quote unquote ranked player on the first page of the attendees list is, Crike or J-Flex, and these guys are all absolute hitters, absolutely ridiculous. KJH coming out for this event as well. I think it's going to be a really good one. Going on to the second page, you still have hitters like, Squids on there, NJ's Finest, Rishi. Is that Nikki from Europe? Please tell me that's Nikki from Europe. I'd
be surprised. I just feel like I would have seen a Nikki announcement to that effect. But Nikki was at Collision last year, as I recall. Didn't we have Europe or Worlds versus USA crew battle?
Or was that the DK versus Ganon?
You are. I think that might be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like I remember seeing.
I don't want to get into the Ganon stuff.
I feel like I saw like a Hoborg popping off in like some kind of versus, because I feel like, dang, Memory's not super great, as it turns out. It would be cool to see Acidics make a run, a local, Acidics, speaking of local players. I mean, we talked about B-Bats
It
earlier.
would be really cool.
We are big Billy fans.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see. Cool to
We'd love
see
to see Arthur, 404 Cray, maybe JJM,
Dr. Lobster.
Doc Lob. I love me some Calvar from time to time.
Ooh, Calvar's
Junebug,
going. Wait,
Big Junebug.
Junebugs? Where's Junebug on the list? I ain't seen Junebug. I would love nothing more than to see a Junebug top 8 at Collision. And then, Logan is now Philly, so I will claim Logan. I'm more than happy to. Brotherly Love Esports signed Logan, possibly being the second highest or the first highest, because I don't see Zane on the list. So I guess could possibly be the highest placing Marth player. That's a hot take, because there's a, I mean, besides Crike, I feel like there's one more Marth player that I'm not giving love to right at this very second.
Maybe like a Calvar, maybe.
Yeah, probably Calvar. I feel like there's just
preeminent. Fro 116. I think Fro 116 or 116 is very, very good. They're I think outside of Rishi, I think the best Marth in Tri-State right now. Just very, very good.
Ooh, I like that. So this is going to be a great event. Y'all should tune in. Now, Hada, I'll speak for myself first, so that you don't say something that it makes me feel bad to then explain where I'm coming from with this. It is great to be back today, but are we back in general? Are we so back? My answer is no, we are not so back. And the reason why is because the Frisbee season is about to begin again. I have enjoyed the time off of recording a podcast, not because I grew to hate it or anything. I think I had a lot of energy for doing all facets of it for a long time, 2021 to the middle of last year. And then I started to fall off like it was hot. And I mostly started to get annoyed at little things, but it's always this part that I enjoy the most, is talking to the people, talking to you, because we recorded 60 plus episodes together, and it's just more and more fun to talk to you each time. So this is the fun part, but the consistently committing to it is probably what I'm going to struggle with for a while. But let me just say, it is certainly not our last time recording together, and I would love to continue to look ahead at big tournaments or to recap them periodically. I can at least say that. But in terms of weekly, despite the fact, and I always insist on this, there's always so much to talk about Melee, as there is always so much more Melee to be played, but it can't be me presently leading the charge on that for this here podcast. Now, tell me where you're at. Where are you at with all this?
So, when I was working double job, there's no way. Like, I didn't have enough time to go to the gym. I didn't have enough time to play volleyball, and we all know how much Hada loves volleyball.
Oh my gosh, you haven't really played volleyball.
Have not, and it's tough. But now that I am doing single job, and potentially a little side hustle, I will have time for the volleyballs. I will have time for the podcast, and I do miss it. I've literally thought about doing other podcast projects. I do miss the idea of talking about things I'm passionate about, talking about things I care about, and that at least I think I'm knowledgeable about.
Oh, you are so knowledgeable. Are you kidding me? You're always keeping us above board in that regard. I always go like, this is a thing probably, and you go, I got you.
I mean, with God, how long is it? When did I first play this game? It's been over 10 years. I have over 10 years minimum dealt into this game. But there's a lot of stuff I do want to keep doing and keep giving back. I'm down to be flexible with scheduling. My mornings are usually more open. So regardless, I do want to start doing more podcasting. And if that involves, me get another like a rotating sequence of guests and I can host that, we'll see. And so I would love to hear some feedback from the people, because I know that I'm sorry that we haven't been around as much. We had some loyal fans, we had some people that were following pretty closely, and I hope that you guys are still around, or you guys left us completely in the ether. We'll see. But
it's all good.
I want to be so back. I do, because I did miss it. It was one of those things that I really enjoyed on a weekly basis. So Well, I'm willing to put in the effort and try to make it happen, but I know, especially because I was addicted to frisbee all through college. I played a ton of ultimate, um, and volleyball is also one of my vices, and not vices, but virtues. Honestly, I love volleyball.
So
It's
that's the
good.
thing, right? Like, I can compete in melee, and I consider that to be really fun. But I'm being so vain and selfish in the sense of like I'm in my athletic prime is maybe a poor way to summarize it. But I am at a really good weight, better than I've been in like 8+ years, and
Mhm.
I can run around. I can not jump like amazing, but I don't think I've really lost a step yet. I feel as fast as I've ever been at 28. So if in a couple of years or in the very next game that I play this upcoming Friday for our first game in the competitive league, I tear my Achilles or something like that, then, I start to have to rethink these sort of things. But as long as I stretch prior to playing, my body feels fine all throughout. And I don't have like lingering little injuries that I have to account for every time I play. I still feel pretty good. So after not being competitive in a physical way ever since getting married and becoming a father, doing frisbee since the beginning of fall of 2023. So I played 2 full seasons. First season did not go well, but the second season, undefeated, won the championship. That's all super
Nice.
fun. Who knows what'll happen this time? But yeah, this is still not a full year of playing league frisbee, and I'm definitely deep in the sauce. But I also really care about saving the rest of my time for the kids. Shout outs to Ellie and Ezra. They usually will watch something while I'm recording with you during the day, Hada, but they've been playing downstairs very quietly and nicely. So it's really cool. That speaks to them being more mature and awesome, I guess. Anyway, I don't want to take away too much time from my family than I already feel like I do sometimes. So those are the things that I'm thinking of. But it is certainly not the end. I certainly appreciate all the people who had tuned in, who will no doubt be all clamoring back and telling us how awesome this particular episode was. It's just great to talk about all the things that we cover specifically, Hada, around Melee and in general. You're such a great guy. So I missed you as much as I missed recording. So we'll be getting back into things in a certain way. What it'll look like, it's hard to say for sure, but it's really great to at least get this one done. We had some scheduling shenanigans for a couple of weeks, but by Jove, we got it done. That's super encouraging.
Yeah. Hey, if you build it, they will come, sort of thing. When we will look to start building it again. At least that's where my passion is pushing me. I'm actually getting a new set of headphones. Let me show you guys. So I've had
I
these
saw it
for like,
wiggling.
oh, look at this. So it's hanging on, like it works, but I got a new set of headphones that actually connects to my mic, so it's gonna be easier for me to have this cool, crispy audio. So
How good
I'm
does Hada
investing into
sound
it,
today,
so
by the way? Super
yeah,
good.
I've
Hmm.
upgraded a little bit, just a little bit.
That's what's up. That's awesome.
Yeah, so my new headset will be in tomorrow, I think. So yeah, let's see, look at this, wiggling all over the place. I'm actually gonna try to start streaming more as well, just because as of right now, I'm been working afternoons and evenings during the week. So expect some coffee time stream with Hada in the morning. I'm gonna try to get on a really really good schedule where I am going to the gym in the morning and then coming back and streaming and doing a little bit of work if I need to, but mostly just because I want to start putting out content again. I think it was really good for me when I was really not making it a priority per se, but making it like part of my life where I get to connect with people on a daily basis, and it's relaxing. It's a way that I can connect to my community, to my friends, to my people, and I think I need that at this time in my life. So we'll if you guys want to check me out, it's at Hey Hot on everything. I hit diamond in league on 2 accounts, so we
That's what I'm
like
talking
that.
about.
So we're doing that. Been playing a lot of League. Trying to put out another combo video. I don't know. Been playing some P plus. Might be streaming a little bit more of that.
I voted for all the above. I'm a selfish person. I'll go. I want to see clips for all of the characters, baby. Let's go.
So, and I've been playing a ton of Luigi too. So you guys are like Luigi gameplay. Shout outs to Hoborg, my goat.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Board technology as well. If you want the sickest controllers on the block.
Yep. But that's all I've got, guys. I am going to be a little more religious on checking the Discord, checking the comments section. So, if you guys want to get in touch with me or if you have any questions, and if I'm not checking those, just feel free to hit me on Twitter, and I'm more than happy to get involved per se.
Oh my gosh, look at that. I got a list from Anchor, shouts to Anchor for TO in Collision. That's like, this looks like at least 38 of the top 100 players present for Collision. See, you know it's going to be a good time. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. So guys, check us out. Please go watch Collision. It's gonna be dope. Um, just go to your locals. Love your TOs. Love your top
Ossify is
players.
apparently in the bracket. Oh my gosh, yay!
Let's go, Oscar.
I told you the ossification has fully set in with me. I am bossified up. Dang.
Let's go, Bossify. So yeah, I'm excited. So give lots of love to the Collision team. Go check that out. And more importantly, drink some water, love each other, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you all for tuning in.